So at first, when I tried to design the cyclocopter, I couldn't find any previous people who have made the design before, so I had to look for CAD files, and I couldn't find many of those, but this is the first one I found. So this is the first one I found, and then I had to learn how to use Fusion 360 and how to manipulate rigid bodies in order to make the cyclocopter what I want. And now I not only know how to do that, but I find it fun to do so. So this was the initial design, and then I decided to modify it to this design. So basically, I um I removed all the propellers from it, and now I have this body, and then I made the body for this. But then eventually I had to get rid of this design, and then I have more designs of other things, such as a snap fit box that I was planning on putting here, but I decided that that's not as important. And eventually I realized that I need the exact materials that I will be using for building my project in my Fusion 360 in order for it to have any real value. So this is one of the motors I'll be using, and that's for rotating the propellers. And I will be using 20 kilogram servos for manipulating the center of rotation of the linkage mechanism, where all the linkage is attached to, and the whole propeller rotates around. So this helps it cyclocopter steer, and it helps it maintain throttle, and it also helps it rotate its wings to direct thrust. And so, through research papers, I found out that these NACA 0018 wings were the best choice of wings for a higher scale design, at least in simulations, but I wanted to test that in real life. Okay, and then, so, I copied off that, but I followed Mobile Benedict's design where he cut out rectangular slats, and then that made the blade significantly lighter, and I will wrap this in Mylar film just as Mobile Benedict did, and I will run a 6mm carbon fiber tube through each blade in order to secure it and to make it stiff, and also secure it to the outside propellers, the outside frames for the propellers. And then, well, I had to get all of the materials I would be using to build. So these are the bearings, some of the bearings I'll be using, and then so I found all of these through CAD files and CAD websites. So these are the servos, those are the shaft collars. These are some more bearings, and then that's not a screw. And these are some of the motors I'll be using. And then this is the frame I'll be using. So, and then my original plan was to have the rods for where the propellers spin on to go off diagonally, but then I realized that it would be more stable if I put it off the middle, like I did here. So this is the design I'm currently working on. So this is the 8mm steel rod where the cyclocopter will be rotating around. It'll be stationary, this rod will be stationary, and then these are the linkages with the threaded rods that are supposed to connect to the blades in order to steer them in direct thrust and throttle. And then this is a servo mechanism, and this is supposed to change the center of mass of rotation. So it's supposed to move around this bearing housing. There's a bearing inside that is attached to this linkage mechanism. And so what those servos will do is move the center of mass of this mechanism around. So as you can see, the center of rotation. So the center of rotation is right here at this point, but theoretically it can go anywhere around here. But I just realized that these linkages may cause some interference, so I need to update that, and then I need to complete the propellers, and then complete the rotation mechanism, as well as the linkage mechanism, and then I will simulate using dynamics, and then eventually I will build the cyclocopter in real life and test it in real life. But first I will test it in simulations, such as fluid dynamic simulations. But hopefully I will be able to demonstrate a working flying cyclocopter by the state competition, hopefully if I qualify. But for the TCRSF competition, I will be displaying the simulation results for my cyclocopter, and I am still working on the model as of now, but this is my progress.